It is with a great pleasure that I welcome you on today's Sunday magazine. Human society is dynamic, which makes it imperative to toe the line of peace and dialogue in all things, as dialogue is the only way to end conflict and disagreement. It is no longer news that patients in public hospitals across the country have come under severe pains as resident doctors' strike lingers. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Nigerians are at the receiving end, and those who cannot afford treatment in private hospitals are left to suffer. Not forgetting messages from ministers of God. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Now let's begin the program from the pulpit. Anger gives Satan the foothold for irrational and destructive behavior. Therefore, one needs to tame or manage this negative emotion before it becomes destructive. This formed part of sermon at today's church service in Abuja. Mariam George Jitubo brings us details of messages from Christ Apostolic Church, All Saints Chapel, and the Cathedral Church of Advent, Abuja.
Speaking on the topic, Divine Anger Management Plan, the Zonal Superintendent, Christ Apostolic Church, All Saints Chapel, Pastor Anthony Olusegun Adegbulugbe, says when one is provoked to anger, the person should pray and ask God for help to understand the root cause of the anger.
Anger is something that is inborn emotions in us. It's not something you can get rid of. It's something that if you follow the biblical principle, you can manage. And today's sermon actually talked about that sound biblical principle based on James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20 on how to manage our anger as an emotion.
Away from church service to health now. The resident doctors' strike is taking a toll on Nigerians as they cry for government intervention. Doctors, on the other hand, are calling on government to meet their demand of payment of allowances before they return to work. In this report, Serafina Ukon Umekwe takes a look at the doctors as necessary companions. All right, away from health now, farmlands, properties and critical national infrastructure were on Saturday destroyed by flood in villages along the Kwali-Abaji-Lokoja highway after a heavy downpour. Ilyas Onotu Yakubu reports that no life was, however, lost to the incident.
Victims say the flood water ran through the various communities for more than 4 hours, uprooting boulders and plants on its path. In the aftermath, farmers helplessly watch in awe the level of destruction of their produce following the over 4-hour ravaging threats of the flood.
People have already planted, finished. Nobody in this area, almost about 15 kilometers, if I'm not made a mistake, they are planted. And the water has already washed everything. Nothing remained there. Both banana and everything, all.
And talking sports, Team Nigeria returned home hours before 2020 Tokyo Olympics closing ceremony as Nigerian midfielder wins Man of the Match award after stealing the show in championship debut. And this is where we draw a curtain on today's program, Sunday Magazine this week. I hope you have been informed, and it's our prayer that resident doctors will call off the ongoing strike as soon as possible. Do join us next week, same time, same station. Until then, stay safe. I am Nolin Ebel Ame.